Here we go. Just wait a second for a couple more people to join. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We will get started here in just a minute. We'll allow just a couple minutes to let people join in. See a few more people have joined in. Welcome. We're just going to wait a couple more seconds here to allow people to join in before we get started. All righty, we'll go ahead and get it going. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining today. For those who don't know me, my name is Teresa Donahue. I'm the Brand Engagement Marketing Manager here at Volusion. And here at Volusion, we want to ensure that you, our merchants, receive an all-in-one e-commerce experience so that you have all the tools and support you need to successfully grow your business. And we're able to do this by partnering with experts like Marketing 360. And we actually have two subject matter experts here today to walk you through preparing your e-commerce site for the holiday season. But before we get started, I just want to go over a couple housekeeping items. Marketing 360 is actually offering a special promotion to all webinar attendees. You can receive $500 of marketing credit through Marketing 360 for attending this webinar. So I'll include some contact information and a link in the follow-up email tomorrow so you can claim that credit. And then we also offer our free holiday website checkup with a Volusion client growth specialist. And with this checkup, you will receive a personalized audit of your website to see where you're losing out on sales and how you stack up to your competitors and things you can do to grow. And our client growth specialist is Angela Kirk, and she's amazing. She's helped like countless of our merchants really grow their business and their revenue. And getting in more traffic to their site. So definitely take advantage of that. If you have any questions, please submit those during the webinar as we'll be answering questions live at the very end. If we don't get to all the questions, we'll be sure to answer those after the webinar and send them out in the follow-up tomorrow. And to learn more about Marketing 360, I'll include all that information as well in the follow-up tomorrow, and I'll also post it in the chat during the webinar. All right, so today we'll be going over some wonderful information on how to prepare your e-commerce site for the upcoming holiday season. These topics will help you optimize your site well in advance so you can make the most out of the busy season ahead. So on our agenda today, we'll be going over design, email marketing, PPC and paid ads, shopping feeds, SEO, social media, and then I'll also include a couple suggestions for like a holiday promotional calendar. All right, so without further ado, we have Andrew Elkins and Tyler Radson here with us from Marketing 360. Thank you guys so much for hosting today.
Oh, thank you for having us, Teresa. It's always a pleasure to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Andrew Elkins. I am the Director of Partnership Marketing at Marketing 360. My team deals exclusively with premier partners like Volusion, so we're always happy to help when we can. I've been at Madwire for about 13 years now, in the digital space for about 25 years. So seen a few holidays come and go, so I'm ready to kind of share that experience and any knowledge I might have with you if I can.
Hey everybody, I'm Tyler Radson. I've been at Marketing 360 for 10 years. I'm a lead ad specialist, so our department is focused on all things paid advertising, tracking, and analytics. So yeah, we have some extra tidbits that I can add from that perspective as well for the holidays. So grateful to be here.
Awesome. Great. Thank you guys. All right, let's get into it then. The first thing we're going to cover today is design for the holidays. So when it comes to website design, Andrew, what are your suggestions around preparing for the holiday season?
Oh, absolutely. I have a few suggestions for the holiday season. I know it seems early, it's the end of July, but believe me, you want to get started as quickly as possible. It's going to be competitive and you want as much market share as you can get, and you want some time to test if you can too as well. Also, by the way, these tips and tricks can work for any kind of campaign you're running if you want some sense of urgency or exclusivity. It's not limited to the holidays, but this is something that we think works really well during the holiday season. So as far as the actual design goes, I'm a big believer in making things as big and obvious as possible when you're trying to get a client to take a certain action on that. So we want to have big homepage banners right front and center with a clear message that lead directly to dedicated holiday themed landing pages, right? For paid search campaigns, you want to make what they call like a squeeze page, where when somebody lands on that page directly from a paid search advertisement, there's not a whole lot of options for them to do. It's really to take that action that you're trying to get them to do, whether it's to sign up or to make a purchase in an Evolution case, or leave. That way we know exactly what they're here to do, and they know exactly what they're here to do as well. And they get all the information they need right up front. And it's easy for them, again, to take that action that you want them to do. If you're creating a kind of a page for organic search that's going to be around for a while, that you want to rank for your organic rankings, I would suggest kind of more evergreen copy. That's not going to be specific to this particular holiday, well, to this particular year. For that promotion, I'll leave out kind of any like specific pricing because that might change too. And you don't want to be held to pricing if it goes up later down the road. But for holiday banners, for stuff I suggest, and for a paid search landing page, that you may get kind of some of the examples we have here too, where that page is clearly dedicated to that promotion for that specific amount of time. Again, it kind of covers those areas of being of exclusivity and kind of a sense of urgency to get someone to take that action now. I think for a friend, the same thing kind of applies for your promotional sales and graphics. You want to kind of decide what promotion sales you want to run through, maybe through the end of the year. And when we talk about holidays, right, there's the obvious ones like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, but there's also the really big holidays online, which are Black Friday and Cyber Monday. If you're an e-com business, which I'm assuming you guys all are, then these are ones you definitely want to focus on, because this is what people are looking to do on those specific days that time of years, right? Those are some of the most popular ones that are out there right now. So create a content calendar on your own to kind of to plan on when you want to start launching and building momentum toward these campaigns. So say if you want to do a Black Friday sale, have a content calendar where you start promoting that either through through paid search or organic search or through email or text message marketing a couple of months before that, leading up to that, right? Building up on that kind of momentum for those dates. Design and prepare those graphics ahead of time so you're not scrambling at the last minute to do it. You want to have as many of your assets ready to go as you can, so it's kind of just a plug and play. And then be creative and be playful with them too, right? Be something that somebody remembers, something that's going to grab their attention. These are the holidays, right? These are exciting promotions. You want to convey that in the graphics that you put out there, right? And again, these should lead also directly to that kind of squeeze page that we talked about and drive those people to convert on the sales that you're running.
Those are great tips. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right. And play number 2, email marketing for the holidays. So, Andrew, also, do you have any tips for email marketing around this season?
I definitely do. And that's something we just alluded to before. So if you had a promotion, there's a lot of different ways to actually promote that offer. It's mentioned search, but email is a great one. The ROI on email is really high, and it's not expensive to send a lot of emails, and they can be very effective. One-time email blast is great, maybe a week or so, or in a couple of days before that actual promotion begins. But if you have the time, and I prefer much to do what they call an email journey, where it's a series of emails that lead up to that promotion, and they kind of grow in urgency as that series continues, right? So the first one you might do a month or a month and a half out from when that promotion takes place, kind of planting the seed for that promotion with that client, and then maybe 2 or 3 more as that date gets closer, giving more details about the offer, giving them more, increasing the sense of urgency in the call to action, giving more specific dates, things like that, but where you're kind of hitting that person multiple times before that actual promotion takes place. to keep that front of mind, right? In marketing, especially digital, they talk about all the time. It often takes sometimes people 15 to 16 times to see an ad before they react to it and take that call to action. Email's not as many, but you want to give them as many chances as possible to get that message across to them, right? And it gives you, again, it gives them kind of the same way you would do like a movie trailer or something, where you'd only give a little bit up front to get people excited about it. As it gets closer, give them more and more information and make that put that call to action more exciting as it gets closer to the actual promotion date.
Great. Awesome. Let's see. All right, moving on to PPC and paid ads. Tyler, can you walk us through preparing for holiday campaigns with PPC? Like, when would be the best time to launch for specific holidays like Black Friday and Christmas?
Yeah, so you really want to get ahead of it and try to at least have some evergreen growing a few months before. So, in September, it's great to start hinting at some of those promotions coming around the corner. Kind of like Andrew was speaking to, 15 to 16 times, right? And so this is another opportunity to use paid advertising as a supplement on that approach. So some things that you want to do to make sure that you're getting ahead of it. You want to make sure that your ad copy and banners are up to speed. Set up all your promotion extensions. You can keep them paused even if you're not ready to turn them on yet, but having those ready to go is always very helpful. Offer your free shipping if you can. Make sure all your holiday bundles and packages are set up appropriately on your ads as well. Make sure your banners are up to date and all the pricing and promotion pricing is all up to date on that. Of course, plan your budgets. It's most e-commerce companies like to spend the highest during Q4 when they're running all these promotions. And then lastly, it's probably the most important part, which is building your remarketing audience lists. And so, if you can stack on that brand recall we were talking about alongside with building your remarketing audience list, stacked with your promotions going into Q4, having those three things together is really going to give you a better chance of driving a positive return on investment. So I would say by getting ahead of it and building those remarketing lists, you're giving yourself a leg up for sure.
Okay, great. Awesome. All right, play number 4, shopping feeds for the holidays. Tyler, what tips could you give us when it comes to holiday shopping feeds?
Yeah. So you definitely want to make sure to have all your promotions set up in there as well. If you can get your products and everything uploaded ahead of time, it allows Google to crawl and index your site. And so if you allow Google to do that, by the time that you get to the holidays itself, they've already have your organic listings up and rolling to supplement your paid advertising efforts as well. And so it's going to make a huge play for you to do that ahead of time. And it also gives you a chance to make sure everything's up to speed. Managing feeds can be, quite the process, as you all probably know. And so just make sure your product feed is up to date in terms of your titles, your descriptions, your prices, of course, any other variants that you feel are appropriate to the specific collection that you're going to be pushing. Make sure that your photos are high resolution, and just make sure that you're getting ahead of it. That way, once you do get to the promotion itself, you can hit the ground running with your feed as well. Yeah, awesome. So going into here as well, segmenting your products is really a great idea as well. It just allows you to kind of transition from one set of products that you're running promotions on to the next. And so you can kind of see here we have our Black Friday, Thanksgiving, etc. And so having those products segmented out in each other will make the process a lot cleaner and simpler for yourself as well. You can also check your competitors, take a look at what they're doing in terms of how they're managing their collections on their site. Sometimes setting up your navigation on your site to mirror what competitors are doing can be a competitive advantage you can set yourself up for, along with obviously looking at their promotions that they're running to make sure that you're being competitive with whatever they're running as well. And then lastly, streamline your checkout process. It can be easy to, make the checkout page a little more complex than it needs to be, but if you can remove any sort of pop-ups or anything like that, that might get in the way of your checkout process overall, definitely make sure you're having your teams take a look at that now. That way, you know that you're ready to hit the ground running with that as well. And then lastly, going into Google Shopping ads, one big competitive advantage we have now is Amazon has stopped promoting their products on Google. And so, usually that's usually our number one competitor for most e-commerce brands is that there's usually some sort of Amazon ad that's being promoted on Google Shopping as well. And so now that Amazon has stepped out of that, that creates so much more opportunity for smaller companies like yours to gain better impression share and have a better competitive advantages at visibility on the shopping network as well. So definitely an opportunity to take advantage of as well for the holidays.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. All right, play number 5, SEO for the holidays.
Yeah, so we touched on SEO a little bit earlier. One of the things that we talked about the way you want to create content for SEO. SEO takes, for those who don't know, it's search engine optimization, right? It's what they refer to as organic search, and it's basically based on the content you have on your site. There's no paid advertising involved. You get ranked on a couple of different factors. One is going to be the quality of that page, the amount of quality content on it, whether it's keyword rich for those particular keywords you're trying to rank for, whether the code on the back end of the site is set up correctly as well. And one of their factors that they look at sometimes is called link popularity, right? So how many sites are linking back to that page, right? Those are all factors that go into this. So that sounds like a lot of work, and it can be. So it's best to start it early. Again, I know it seems early to do, but it's a good idea to get that started now. So if you're not working in an agency like Marketing 360, and you have to do these things on your own, where you would start is kind of with keyword research, right? You probably know or have an idea of the products that you want to promote during the holiday season. So there's tools like Google Trends that can allow you to kind of drop that keyword in there and see what people are searching for, right? So it might be a variation of that product name that you're thinking about, right? So it's a good idea to drop something in there, see what's kind of the popular search terms as of recently, and kind of build some content around that, right? So when you think about the design of that page, you want to make sure it features those particular products names in there as often as possible, that it still makes sense, right? You don't want it to sound kind of like you're trying to keyword stuff the page and make it where it's just overly saturated with that keyword. Google doesn't appreciate those kind of things. It kind of feels like you're trying to game the system. So make sure it sounds natural and it's good content, but use those keywords as often as you possibly can. If you're creating a brand new page, then you can have that actual keyword in the URL. So if it was like Velusion / iPads, you want to have that. That's a real advantage to have that actual key term in that URL too. You want to make sure, we talked about it a second ago, was making sure the code on the back end of that page is correct too. So you want to make sure the meta tag titles and meta descriptions are optimized for all those pages too. There's plenty of tutorials out there for you if you want to learn how to do that. If you're not working with an agency like us, but it's basically making sure the way you want to think about it is a hierarchy of content on that page. You want to make that page as easy for Google to index as possible, because if it runs into roadblocks, it's going to leave and go index somebody else's page. So you want to tell them exactly what that page is in the meta title tag, then a really good description of what that page is in the meta description. So you think about the bot will hit that, read that title. If the description matches what that title says, and then it goes into the content, and that content matches what that description said, that's a really good page, right? That means that you're not trying to get anything over anybody. You're actually advertising for what that page contains. Once that page is completed, you want to make sure to do things like add alt text to the photos in case those photos don't render on somebody's computer. That alt text will be there too. But Google also looks at that alt text as additional content as well. So, when you build those pages, kind of try to keep those things in mind. That's kind of like a roadmap for what a good page looks like. And again, it does take a while for an organic page to rank, especially if there's robust competition around those particular keywords. Things you can also do too is link internally on your site. So if you have a product page, if you mention a product in that particular page you built and you have an actual product page for that, then link that product page in the text as well. So internal linking is a really good thing too. Once that page is live, make sure you resubmit your sitemap to Google Search Console. So it's just kind of telling Google like, hey, we just built this page. It's here. Come take a look at it. And then if you have an opportunity to link that page from social media posts or email marketing, with really qualified links going back to that page, that's going to help you kind of rank organically faster than you would if you just build that page, right? That kind of segues into this too, right? Into off-page SEO to-dos, right? So when you start doing this thing, is again, these things all take a little bit of time on the organic side, but once you get there, you tend to stay there for a while. So this can pay real dividends down the long run. Think about it as like an investment in the near future and in the long future as well too. So start looking on getting backlinks to that. If you have relationships with different websites, maybe the manufacturer or something like that, you can have them link back to your site as well too. That they'll reward you for that too. Any influencers out there that you might know or might be using to kind of talk about your product and link back to either blog post or video is going to be huge for you too. And just be as active as you possibly can on social media and through email marketing leading up to that promotion, talking about that page and linking back to it as often as you can. It can only help. And those are just kind of some short hacks to get your page ranking faster than if you just built that page and let it sit there, right? It could take a really long time to rank that way. You want to be proactive about making sure that people are coming and looking at that page people, and in this case, Google as well too.
Okay, great. Awesome. Play number 6, social media for the holidays. Tyler, social media can be a powerful sales tool, especially around the holidays. What are some things our store owners can do to optimize each social channel?
Yeah, so for all channels, you're going to want to make sure to start creating content early. So honestly, starting now is probably the best thing that you can start doing, getting ahead of it and getting engagement with your audiences online. TikTok is one of the best places that you can do it, particularly for e-commerce. As you can see, 1 in 7 internet users purchase or subscribe to a product as a result of TikTok. That number is only going to continue to go up. And so it's great for just building, awareness and driving action directly on the platform itself. And even if you're not driving action around the gate, as you can see, 7.8 increase in brand recall. So it speaks to exactly what we've been talking about in terms of the brand recall and the marketing audiences that you're going to be building. And so TikTok can be a really huge tool that you can use to just build that overall awareness for yourself ahead of time. Yeah, awesome. Same thing goes for Facebook and Instagram. You can start start as early as September and October if you'd like, but honestly, even now is great if you want to start getting ahead of it. Get your posts planned out ahead of time. You can use great scheduling tools just like Marketing 360. There's plenty of great tools out there to schedule your social media content in general, but it's a great time to get ahead of it. One, to just make sure it's scheduled and ready to go, but also to make sure that your messaging and imagery is what you want it to look like. That way, if have any pivots or changes that happen as you lead up to the holidays, you get ahead of it in real time and just make it a lot more smoother for yourself by being proactive that way. Another thing to do is enable dynamic advertising on Facebook. And so the great tool that you can use to use this is with remarketing campaigns. Dynamic remarketing ads are really great at ensuring that your users get the products that they have shown the most interest in delivered directly to them. And so again, that's the purpose of those remarketing audiences that we were speaking to. If you can couple that with dynamic remarketing, what that does is it just pushes that specific product they were showing interest in right into their face with the promotion, gives you a much higher chance of driving sales at the end of the day. Awesome. And then Pinterest is another great tool. And so one liner that still sticks to me to this day that I heard a few years back with a Pinterest rep was pinners are planners. And so Pinterest is really great for getting in front of people who are kind of getting ahead of the game. I know my wife is already talking about Christmas shopping and planning for all of that. And so I can promise you that market is there. They're looking on Pinterest for ideas and gift ideas and things like that. And so great opportunity to get in front of them ahead of time. Some pin types that you can use are idea pins. These are great to just feature like story-like sequences or images and videos that kind of speak to your product or your product collection, whichever specific thing you want to push. So a great idea to kind of use that storytelling format to kind of start building the interest and the consideration ahead of time as you're getting ahead of the game there with Pinterest. And so you can also push things like infographics, product collections as gift ideas as well. There's also rich pins. This is a great opportunity to just provide even more context around the particular product or collection that you're pushing, such as promotion prices, any sort of selling points that are specific to your audience, things like that. And so definitely take advantage of these great opportunities on Pinterest as well to get ahead of it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great information. Okay, and thank you guys so much for that rundown. Just to kind of wrap things up here, we'll include a couple tools you can use to help prepare for the holidays. So, whether you're going to take a few of these strategies for your business, they can all be done successfully before the holidays with just a little bit of preparation. With multiple projects and deadlines happening simultaneously, marketing calendars can really help you collaborate creatively and successfully move a campaign from the ideation to the execution. So any content calendar should feature space for things like launch date, copy, images, and links. You also want room to add metrics like impressions, clicks, engagement, open rates, et cetera, that you can add after you publish. So this will allow you to measure the effectiveness of each campaign. So a couple things you can utilize here is the Marketing 360 social app. It gives you the ability to schedule posts in advance and publish to multiple social channels at the same time. Also Google Calendar or Google Workspace. This will help you keep on track with launch dates for your seasonal content for promotions and sales, ads, social media, and more. Loomly is another great option for content scheduling and calendar. It's a tool that allows you to schedule social media posts ahead of time, keep track of your posts on the content calendar, and it's super helpful when you want to take some time to plan a week or 2 weeks worth of content in advance. We also have Trello on here. Trello is a project management tool that is especially helpful when you're working with a team to collaborate on projects, organize workflows, and track progress in a visual way. It makes the day-to-day tasks of working together with a team easier and get things done efficiently. And there's also a ton of free content marketing templates available online as well if you just want to do your own research. But if you want to learn more about keeping organized with a marketing calendar, we actually have a blog on our Evolution site. It's called How to Build Out a Marketing Calendar, and I'll include that blog link in the follow-up email tomorrow, again, with all of the resources that we've covered today, a replay of today's webinar, and contact information for Marketing 360. So now we'll move into our Q&A portion. And I think we are just showing one question here. Oops. I popped up the screen and now I can't get out of it. Okay. The first question, I tend to not post promotions for discounts in advance because then customers wait to shop. I lose sales due to customers waiting. Is there any way around this to help avoid this issue?
I mean, there's a couple things you could do, and one, I'm always a fan of making it easier for people to give you their money, right? So you can have that kind of date where that promotion begins in there, but you can honor that if they come early if you want to, right? I would take that business anyways, and I would even take that business post that promotion too, right? Again, right, the promotion date is just a tool to create urgency for this too, right? So if it comes early, I would honor that discount as well too. So I would open up that discount code and let it go as soon as you start setting up that promotion. It just, again, or it's somebody who's thinking about it, like if they're planning their holiday shopping, they're planning on whatever they're going to do, they might kind of use that kind of that promotion date as a deadline and not necessarily when they want to start doing it. So I would say, like, go ahead and open it up and make it available to anybody. Just keep that date in there as to kind of, again, to promote that exclusivity and that sense of urgency.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Can I add one on there as well?
Yeah.
I was going to say, from a paid advertising perspective, that's definitely another reason for the importance of your marketing lists. And so one remarketing list I would recommend to make sure that you have always built out and building is your cart abandoners. So there's always gonna be somebody that's dragging their feet on a purchase of a product. And so make sure that list is always being built so that you can make sure to promote, when you are ready to actually launch promotion.
Mm-hmm. And again, I would again, like I said, even after the fact, you probably have gotten this before yourself, where the sales have been extended past that initial kind of like deadline for, right? It's not because they forgot to do it. It's something that's done on purpose to make the most of that promotion, right? And give people a chance who didn't take advantage of it the first time to take advantage of it later. You're not really losing anything from doing it. There's really nothing to lose there. So I would do that as well. I'd build that into your marketing campaigns, right? Into your email campaigns. Like, hey, we've extended this due to popularity. We've extended this offer from there 14 days or something like that. And again, and honor those discount codes, that promotion code for that time, that period of time after that as well too.
Yeah, that's a great point. Awesome. We have one more question. Do I have to be utilizing Marketing 360 services to use the Marketing 360 app?
You do, but it's totally worth it. So, and we'll be happy to give you more information about that too. We have a whole suite of apps built into that. Social media planner is just one of them, but you could do all your email marketing. You could do your social media posts and planning as well. Create content, whatever you need to do. So that's all part of that Marketing 360 software package.
Perfect. Awesome. And with the promotion that Marketing 360 has running, you'll definitely want to advantage of that, the $500 off marketing services.
Yep.
So with that, thank you guys so much for hosting today. And as promised, I'll include all of the resources we talked about today in the follow-up email tomorrow. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out, marketing@volution.com, and we'll get you squared away. But yeah, thank you guys so much for today.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day, guys.
Too.